So welcome to Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. It's good to have you along, and today joined by, I need to get this right, Boebie.
That's great.
How are you, brother? Welcome to the show, man. So your real name's Abubaker, but Boebie, I like that, man. Really cool name.
Look, when I was born, I have the name Abubaker, and as I started to play sports and getting up with friends and that, it was much easier to use the name Boebie.
Okay.
So I grew up with the name Boebie. So,
okay.
So, yeah.
So tell me about, so where did you grow up? Tell me about you.
Yeah, I was born in Claremont.
Okay.
And I grew up, most of my youth, I grew up in Claremont. I was schooling at Claremont, Livingston, and most of the youth of my life I spent in Claremont. It was probably one of the best places in the world.
Really?
Because there, everyone was like family. Even though you live on the other side of Claremont, when we meet, it's like family. And I could walk into your house, and I will sit next to you at your table, and we will eat.
Sure, that's cool, hey?
That was so great. And
that's missing now. That doesn't happen much, hey?
Oh yeah, it doesn't happen much in our communities, but in some big areas like your Manenberg and Overparks and stuff like that people live very close to each other.
Yeah.
Some of that is still out there. But what we had in Claremont was an amazing life. You know, we lived in First Avenue, and my neighbors were white.
All right.
And I remember our neighbor just opposite us, Marianne, she used to come into my mother's house and eat out of the pot. So that's the kind of life that we had, you know.
That's awesome.
So it was really great.
So it was your mom that used to cook. What did she used to cook?
Every person that lived in Claremont and as a mom can cook.
Oh really?
Oh yes.
So what was the favorite dishes that you used to that you still remember?
We used to have our curries, our stir fries, you know, our rotis and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure you love roti now.
Yeah, I do.
Stephen. You learned about roti probably when you were 21, but I was born with roti.
How did you know that, man? Around there, it was around there.
Yeah,
I like roti. Yeah.
No, most of the white people discovered food.
On me, huh?
Most white people discovered food very late in their life.
And then we just that's why I look like I do. Thanks, man. Thanks, buddy. Was that during apartheid? Did apartheid affect you in any way?
Oh yes, it affected me a lot. I had many white friends. I had a very close friend, a female friend, and when we used to go out.
Are you married now with her?
I'm married. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I couldn't even sit in the bus next to her. I had to be on the back, and she had to sit in front.
That's terrible.
I had friends, buddies that is now in the Navy, like Stephen, James.
It's a good name, by the way.
It's a good name, eh? It is. And we played in the street. They played in my backyard. But when we go to the gardens and stuff, you know, we had a beautiful gardens in Claremont. I had to sit on the one bench, and they sit on the other bench. And it's just those kind of things, you know. As kids, when we were kids, we were fine with each other. We were great. But that distinguishes between the two of us of who you really are. And I think it had a setback in my life, like it had in many other people's life and stuff like that. So, but it was a good learning. It was a great learning for me, because we fought over the years. We have fought very hard for our freedom. We threw stones, you know, we did everything. Some of us died.
And we still have to fight. We still have to fight for our freedom, because in many respects now our freedom is not, we're not free completely.
Yeah, well, I'll agree with you on that one. Yeah.
So we have to still stand up for what we believe in, and regardless of whether we're white, black, Muslim, color, it doesn't matter. We still need to keep fighting for that freedom.
I think it's more to get the full understanding of what it is to be one human race. And I think the one thing that steps in there, Stephen, between me and you, is education.
That's right. I think that,
if we're properly educated, we think differently.
That's right.
Then it means that we can have a sound communication.
That's right.
Like I can be your buddy. Hey, Stephen, you know, but in my heart, are we really buddies? You know?
I hope so.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, it's the saying out there.
Yeah, I know.
But that's really the way life is today.
Yeah.
Because I work in many communities that are still affected by the apartheid regime and era that we lived in. Because if you look at it, we had a big house in Claremont. We had a big yard. We had a great place where we come from. And then we were moved from there where we all start to live like almost onto each other and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Was that where? District 6?
No, we were moved from Claremont to a place called Philippi, which is now called
right.
a beautiful name called Sherwood Park.
Oh, yeah.
And that is right next to Manenberg and stuff like that. So yeah, we were still okay. My father had a good job. He was a builder, and he could build us a house. But what about those who couldn't?
That's right.
Those who were thrown into flats,
Yeah.
into right on top of each other. What about those people? You
Yeah.
know, and I always believe that everybody's a good person. It's the circumstances and what they're doing that makes them bad. So
Are some people still staying there now that you grew up with?
oh yes, quite amazingly, there are a few people still left in Claremont that still lives out there.
Wow. And Sherwood Park?
No, in Claremont, where we come from.
Yeah. But you said that you were moved.
We moved to Sherwood Park,
Yeah.
and in Sherwood Park is basically more like family to each other. It's a very small place. We have only 5 avenues, you know,
Okay.
and we have about 530 houses there, households, but it's quite average houses. So you're okay. You're good. You're probably not the rich guys, but you're okay because it's a very close, family-orientated kind of community, and a lot of people know each other because they all come from Claremont or District 6 or Woodstock, and they were all, you know.
Would you say that what you went through, like being forcibly removed from Claremont to Sherwood Park, would you say that brought you guys closer together? That made your community stronger?
You know, it actually made all of us a lot stronger. We still have a lot of anger, but it made us stronger. And for some people, it made them better people and stuff like that. We had opportunities in life and that we have used, and some of them never had any opportunities. And that's the reason why you will see that some of them are probably, you know, way beyond the bread line and stuff like that.
But now tell me about that anger. Would you say that anger is still resentment, and how do you channel that anger? Is it still, would you say that it's suppressed, or would you say that it would take something to, you know, get it out? Or, I mean, talk to me about that.
The anger will come into you, and it comes into many other friends that I know, that I have, simply because of this. If you see any of those guys that you grew up with that are from the white entity, that are now prospering, that are advocates or are maybe lawyers or doctors or even top sports players, you say to yourself, but we grew up together, but only because of my skin. He or she had more opportunities, privileges, and went to better schools, and that's probably the reason where they are now. If you look at sports, for instance, I know of talented, let me take one example. There's a boy that grew up with me, and I played soccer with him, and you probably heard about him, Mark Williams. Right, Mark Williams. Mark Williams had the opportunity, one opportunity in his life, he grabbed it, and look where he ended up.
He played for Bafana, I think.
He played for Bafana, he scored the goals in the CAF games, and that's it. But you look at many of those other blokes that never had those talent, but they made it simply because of their skin. And then you look at many of our colored boys that lived in that same community that were so talented, you know, but because of their skin they never made it, and they couldn't get the opportunity. And I'll give you very good examples. If you take Nazim Smith, for instance, he broke every record you can find in 100 meter or 200 meter. He never had the opportunity to go to Stellenbosch.
Sure. Do you think he would have been the next Wade, or would have been the Wade van Niekerk that time? I don't know.
Wade would have been probably like him. You know, but it was all about that. It was all about that opportunity because of the color of your skin. And I think that we have learned from that, and because we have learned from it, we don't want our kids to miss out on that one. And that's why we push our kids probably into better schools. Even though you live in Sherwood Park, you fight to get your child to go to Rondebosch or Bishops or stuff like that, so that they can be treated equal, have equal opportunities, and hopefully one day become a doctor, or who knows, the next Cassiem or let me use the word, maybe the Zarkalis, like he got 100,000 opportunities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that is what we are standing for today.
But I mean, I remember when I was growing up, when they found like that so-called colored player, Paul Adams, was a big thing. Like, no, we got this guy, we found him, Paul Adams. They made a big thing about it, but it wouldn't have been a big thing as you were saying, if things progressed the way that they were supposed to during apartheid, when we should never have had apartheid.
Correct.
So people should have equal opportunities.
Correct.
And now we're like Paul Adams, Makai Ntini, Vernon Philander. We make a big thing about that when we shouldn't, when we have so much great talent in our country.
Good. Let me tell you something, Stephen, and it will probably amaze you. Do you know that before they even discovered Paul Adams, there were 100 Paul Adams before that?
I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but the opportunity was never there.
Yeah.
Look at Basil de Oliveira. What did that guy have to do? He had to leave the country to go and play top cricket.
I don't know who that is. Sorry.
So amazing.
Tell me who he is.
One of the colored guys in my father's time, that was a great cricketer. But because of his color, he could never, ever make it to the Proteas or anything like that. So he left the country. And then he went to go and play in the UK.
Sure.
And he made it out there big time.
Sure.
You know? So, but there are many others like that.
Yeah.
Before our time. One of the saddest things about us as black people and colored people, we don't have a recorded history. We have a history, but we don't have a recorded history.
That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
It is.
It makes you think, eh? Wow. Okay. You're quite clever, eh?
I can follow Hey?
Okay, so now we know a bit more about you, your circumstances growing up in that, and I like conversations like that. It's important. We must have conversations like this. So tell me what you're involved with now.
Look, at this present moment, we involved in quite a lot of things, and we have an NGO, an NPO, which is called Sports Stepping Stones. I started this thing about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when I was in government in the Department of Sports.
Okay.
And then I left the department about 15 years ago. I had the opportunity to go to the UK to learn a bit more and study a bit more. I came back and we opened up SSS as an NGO. And currently we are 8 years old. And what I do with SSS is to take young people from the communities who cannot afford to go to university, who cannot afford to go to college and stuff like that, who don't want to be a gangster, who don't want to use drugs, and those who did use drugs don't want to use drugs anymore. So we take them into SSS, into Sports Stepping Stones. This is where we give them training in sports management, sports coaching, you know, social development, all of these kind of things. And through what we are providing for them and teaching them and giving the training and the coaching, they then go out there and find jobs. So in the last 8 years, we currently have about 54 of them that are in jobs, that went into the program in jobs. And through this program, we have various partners. Like we are partnering with the city, which is called an EPW program. We're partnering with Africa First, who's currently one of our biggest sponsors and sponsoring us. And currently, we are partnering with
Greenhouse.
Yeah.
You had an event recently, that's right. Unity. You had an event recently that took place.
Correct. So what Greenhouse is doing, there's this amazing woman there, Auntie Sukaina, that's supporting us, because we've always been involved with the programs, in her programs. She used to be with the radio and the Voice of the Cape, and she has programs that she runs and stuff, and we always supported her, and she always make use of our coaches and teach, and through that programs they also learn. So yes, that is our partnerships that we're having, and they are great support of our program.
Is this the first event that you've done with them? Is this the first event, maybe of many, or is?
No, this is one of many events that we had with him.
Okay.
And
will there be more?
Well, our partnership so far are very good. It's a great partnership. We have a great understanding. They understand what SSS is and what we are standing for, and they reach out to us to assist us because they believe that we are making a difference in the lives of underprivileged kids in our communities where we struggle. So yeah, I'm grateful for that, and I'm also very thankful for them, because it also helps me providing for those who cannot go to university.
I like the flag there that you've got on your shirt, which is very interesting because it's like that yellow reminds me of like a flame and like the flame of hope of South Africa, that we have so much hope in this country that we need to just take it by the hands and just grab it and say, this is our country, we can do anything. I'm just so passionate. Sorry, man.
You know, Stephen, Stephen, you know what a flag stands for, with all the colors in there?
No, you're gonna
Right.
tell me, right?
Right. This is.
Because you went to better school than I did.
I probably did. This represent the whole South Africa,
Yeah.
and when I was in the UK, and I walk around with my clothing with our flag on, everybody admires it, because it stands for unity. It's actually something that was brought together through when we became one nation and united as one nation. With our constitution of the country, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
It stands for everyone. And other countries in the world are actually learning from that.
And the Rainbow Nation, like,
And it's
if you look
exactly
at the
it.
flag, it's like,
It's-
it is the Rainbow Nation.
It is. If you go to any sports event. Okay, have you seen the Sevens over the weekend?
Yes.
When you see the South African flags, what does it represent? What does it look like to you? It looks like festival.
That's right.
It looks like one big jolly thing.
Yeah.
And this is actually what we are today. And I'm just hoping that people could find it in their heart to actually grab this, like you said, embrace this and just accepting each other.
Don't walk past. Stop and do something. You know,
Yeah.
in life and for everything, no matter what it is. Don't walk past. Stop and say, what can I do? So yeah.
Maybe we should use the term from the United States.
Yeah.
What can you do for your country?
No, my phrase that I use is don't wait for change, be the change.
Be the change.
Yeah.
Very good one. We also talk about
Because
it.
sometimes the change that happens might not be the change that you want.
Oh yes, and I think many people have realized that.
Yeah,
So that's the reason why you should stand up and do something.
that's right.
You know, I think through the program that we run, we're trying to emphasize on those kind of things that we want to take to our communities, our struggling communities. Like for instance, if you look at Faithieskraal, where you will find hundreds of sacks. And the same with your Manenberg, Hanover Park, your Pontyville, those kind of areas where there's so many gunfights and gangsters and stuff and drugs. Drugs is killing our
No, I
world,
know,
man.
it is. Is the
And,
Western Cape Sports Department involved? Is Anru, the minister, I know her, is she involved with what you're doing?
Well, we run programs and sometimes we join up with their programs,
Okay.
certain programs on them, but we are more involved with the city itself.
Okay.
Because we are partnering the city with a program called the EPWP program, Extended Public Works program.
Is it only soccer or is it cricket or what is it?
No, it's all kind of sports. Sports, it's huge. People don't understand. People believe sports is only soccer and cricket.
Yeah.
Do you know that dancing is a sport?
Yes.
Right? Do you know that marching bands is a sport?
Yes.
You know,
No, there's lots of sports.
drilling
I know.
sports, and
Yeah.
all of this falls under sports.
Yeah. And Gary Kirsten, have you reached out to him? Because I know that he's involved with lots of cricket and giving back and putting up cricket pitches and stuff.
Right. Every code has their development programs,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And yes, we are involved in certain of these programs, like your KFC mini cricket and
Yeah.
stuff like that, because we are also training kids in mini cricket at the schools, and then we're being part of the festivals. The same with the Spur rugby, the same with the football, the softball, and those kind of things. But what we are doing, basically what we are doing is doing genetic coaching to train the coaches from the community for the community.
I think we have to come join you because speaking about it doesn't give the whole
Correct.
essence of what you're actually doing. I think we have to do that. I think we have to come visit you. Tell me, Boebie?
Yeah.
Abubaker. Tell me, brother, how can people get involved? Is there a website? Where can people contact you if they're wanting to get involved? If they're listening to this right now, they say, look, this is something that I feel passionate about. I want to get involved with what you're doing. How can they contact you?
Great. So my phone number is 081-584-2400. That's a Triple S phone number. Triple S stands for Sports Stepping Stones.
Okay.
Right?
Give that number again. And I'll get my producer, Bjorn, to put it on screen as well.
Right, it's 081-584-2400. And yes, we have an email address, that's info@sssngo.co.za. info@sssngo.co.za. And yes, we are busy currently with our website and that, but we have a Facebook page, the Sports Stepping Stone Facebook page.
Okay.
We're posting all these kind of things on Facebook and stuff like that.
Okay.
But what I really want to give out to our communities and to the listeners out there, please come and join us on the 21st of December at Vygieskraal, the rugby stadium, because the other stadium is now declared unfit. We'll be having a Christmas program for 1,000 kids. We do it every year. We have different programs. We have an iftar program, we have Muharram program, we have a Maulid program. This year, the 21st of that, we have a Christmas program.
Okay, and where
Now-
can people get information about that? Because we run out of time now.
Okay, all the information, the numbers I gave them and that,
Okay.
that is on there.
Okay.
We are still looking for sponsors in toys and whatever. We just want to put a smile on the kids' face, and all these kids that we are busing in to come to this program are your kids from Hanover Park, Manenberg, Vygieskraal, Blikkiesdorp, even abroad up to Mitchell's Plain and that. And by the way, we are not an organization that just provide for Muslims and stuff. We are we're looking after the whole South Africa. So yes, we have Google to Kalitsa, everybody involved. So I'm urging people, if you really want to see what Triple S is about, come to Vygieskraal on the 21st, or visit our website, our Facebook page, or come and just give me a call, and we're welcome to come and speak to you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, sir.
It's a
Thank
pleasure,
you for
man.
your time, Abubaker, Boebie.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Another episode of Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. What I'm going to do now is leave you with a bit of footage of the event that took place, Greenhouse and Unity event in aid of Triple S. We'll leave you with a bit of that footage. Take care. God bless and look after yourself.
Hold on tight to the rope of your love. Don't let it go, don't let it slide. Let it be your guiding light. And if faith is hard to find, hold out your hand and grab on. Hold on tight. Let every mother, father and child, every brother and sister in this world be unified. Walk the sea to the rope of Allah. Each of me, to the rope of Allah. Jamia hold on tight to the rope of Allah. To the rope of Allah. Let us be not divided. Let the world unite. And if you should ever fall, I'll be there to catch you, brother, whenever you call. Let every mother, father and child, every brother and sister in this world be unified. Walk us to the rope of Allah. Jamia wala tafarraqu. Walk us to the rope of Allah. Jamia wala tafarraqu. Know that your burden's not too hard to bear.